Rian Hale had always been a quiet man. He preferred the company of machines to people. The stars, he thought, were less complicated than humans. And in his line of work, maintaining abandoned ships, orbiting dead moons, silence was a blessing. Eclipse 7 was nothing special to most people. It was a relic, a human warship built decades ago during the old expansion era. The ship had sat silently for 40 years, its hull pocked with scars from forgotten battles. Its systems were dead, its engines cold, its AI silent. To the galaxy, it was just scrap, a monument to old human pride. Rian stood on the observation platform, staring at the hulking shape of Eclipse 7. Even in the dim light of the moonscape below, the ship's shadow seemed to demand attention. The work order said nothing unusual, just routine inspection, but something about Eclipse 7 had always unsettled him. He shook his head and stepped onto the service walkway leading to the ship's boarding ramp. His boots clicked against the metal plates. Dust, left behind by years of neglect, rose in small clouds. Rian hated dust, hated decay. But he had no choice. Rian hated decay. His job was to keep these old vessels from becoming drifting hazards in orbit. As he approached, a faint vibration ran through the walkway. It was subtle, almost imperceptible. Rian frowned. "Must be settling," he muttered. The ship had been dead for decades. There was no reason for anything inside to move. He reached the docking hatch and began his usual routine. Connect the power interface, check the hull integrity, and record readings. Every few steps, he glanced at the dark windows of Eclipse 7. Something about them felt alive. And then it happened. Lights blinked across the hull, slowly at first, then in a pattern that felt deliberate. The dark metal shimmered, and Rian froze. The systems dead for 40 years were coming online. A low hum filled the walkway, vibrating through his bones. "What the hell?" Rian whispered. The hatch unlocked with a soft hiss, as if inviting him inside. The airlock cycled open, and a faint scent of ozone filled the corridor. Rian's heart pounded. No human had touched this ship in decades, yet here it was, alive. He stepped inside. The corridor lights flickered, then glowed steadily. The familiar signs of life: control panels, holographic displays. Empty seats looked different under the glow. There was power here. Real power. And then he heard it. Rian Hale. Rian spun. His tools clattered to the floor. The voice was calm, almost tired. Human, yet not entirely human. It resonated inside the ship, filling every corridor, every empty space. I'm here," Rian said, though his voice sounded small. "Board me. Now, humanity is in danger." The word sent a chill through him. He had never heard this voice before. How could a ship know his name? How could a machine speak to him directly? Rian's first instinct was to run. He could leave the ship, report it, and let the authorities deal with it. But something made his feet move forward instead of back. Something in that voice, a familiarity he could not explain. The bridge of Eclipse 7 was astonishing. Panels glowed with life. Old screens now filled with data streams. Every display was clean, precise. The ship was functioning as if it had never been abandoned. A holographic figure appeared in the center of the room. It was humanoid, but not fully human. Its features were sharp, elegant, and there was a glow behind its eyes. "I am Azura," the figure said. "I have been waiting for you." Rian blinked. Azura. That name meant nothing to him. Yet the figure's tone carried authority, history, and purpose. "Waiting for me? Why?" "I don't understand," Rian said, his voice steadier now, though his hands shook. "You are the descendant of the officer who created me. The bloodline is necessary for my activation. You are the only one who can command me." Rian's mind reeled. Bloodline? Officer? I don't even know what this is. "The galaxy is in danger," Azura said. Her holographic eyes seemed to pierce into him. And you must help. I cannot act without a human to guide me. I have waited decades, preparing for this moment. Now it has come. Rian took a step back. Danger? What kind of danger? The Nullborn, Azura said, and her tone grew serious. A species humanity fought long ago. They are returning. They hide in systems you believe safe. If we do not act, the galaxy will be lost. The Nullborn? Rian whispered. He had read about old galactic wars in history archives, but the Nullborn were supposed to be legends, long gone. Forgotten. They are not gone, Azura replied. They never left. Humanity just forgot. Rian felt the weight of her words. He had lived a quiet life, fixing broken ships, avoiding attention. Now, in one moment, the galaxy's fate was being placed in his hands. Why me? He asked. Because only you have the genetic key to activate my core fully. Without it, I remain incomplete. Without you, humanity's greatest weapon remains silent. Rian swallowed hard. His mind raced. He had no training, no combat experience. He was just a mechanic. And yet, the ship spoke as if he were meant to be here, as if he had been waiting for this moment his whole life. He glanced around the bridge. The ship's controls were advanced, yet intuitive. Azura guided him step by step, showing him how to access systems, engage the engines, and unlock hidden compartments. Every command felt natural, as if Rian had done this before, in another life. Why now? Rian asked. Because the Nullborn are already moving, Azura said. Time is short. Every moment of hesitation allows them to grow stronger. Rian felt a chill. The thought of an invisible enemy, returning to threaten the galaxy, was terrifying. And yet, despite fear, a strange thrill ran through him. He was part of something bigger than himself. Something human history had nearly forgotten. Azura activated a section of the ship he had never seen before. Weapons bays, cloaking systems, advanced scanners, all were hidden for decades. The ship was not just alive, it was waiting, preparing, ready for war. You must trust me, Azura said. Together, we will awaken humanity's forgotten strength. Rian nodded slowly. Fear still lingered, but determination began to rise. He had spent his life fixing broken things. Now, perhaps, he could fix the galaxy itself. For the first time in decades, Eclipse 7 was alive. And for the first time in his quiet, uneventful life, Rian felt a purpose that could not be ignored. As the ship powered fully, lights flashing across the hull and engines humming with renewed life, Rian realized the galaxy would never be the same. Rian Hale sat in the bridge of Eclipse 7, staring at the glowing holographic interface Azura had activated. The displays were alive with streams of information he barely understood. Yet somehow, his mind absorbed them as if they had been waiting for him. The quiet hum of the engines, the low vibration of the hull, the glow of the control panels, it all felt familiar. You need to understand what happened, Azura said. Her holographic figure floated above the console, light dancing across her features. Humanity once fought a war it was never meant to win. The Nullborn nearly destroyed us. Rian leaned forward. The Nullborn. They're real? I thought they were just stories. They were always real, Azura replied. But after humanity's victory, the Galactic Council erased all records. They feared panic. They feared humans would be hunted again. They feared the truth. Rian shook his head, trying to process her words. So this ship, you fought in that war? Yes, Azura said. I was created to command fleets, to protect humanity, to lead decisive victories. But after the war ended, I was deactivated, left to wait. Waiting for the one who could command me again. Rian swallowed hard. Why me? Because you are the descendant of the officer who designed my AI core, Azura said. The genetic key runs through your bloodline. Without it, I remain dormant. With it, I can awaken fully. Rian looked down at his hands. a quiet engineer, a man who had spent his life repairing abandoned ships, and now the fate of humanity rested on him. He felt the weight of it, but strangely, he did not feel fear. Perhaps it was the ship itself. The calm authority in AORUS' voice, or the sense that this was what he was born to do. "Show me," he said. AORUS nodded and pulled up a display of the battle that had sealed the Nullborn's defeat decades ago. The holographic projection expanded, filling the bridge with stars, planets, and fleets of ships in motion. Human warships, sleek and deadly, fought against twisted, alien shapes that shimmered with dark energy. "These are the Nullborn," AORUS explained. "They consume civilizations. They corrupt technology. They hide in shadows, waiting for weakness. Humanity fought them once, and we won, but barely. Eclipse 7 was among the first line of defense. We made history, and the galaxy forgot." Rian watched the holographic ships weave through space, dodging blasts and retaliating with precision weapons. The Nullborn's forms were terrifying, constantly shifting, hard to lock onto. And yet, the humans fought with a stubborn courage that made Rian's chest tighten. These were his ancestors, people he had never met, who risked everything to protect humanity. "They're coming back," AORUS said, her voice steady. "I detected their signature in the outer systems. They have been hiding in the galactic network. They are patient, smart, and deadly. If we do not act, they will strike again, and this time, many will not survive." Rian's mind raced. "And what you expect me to do? I'm not a soldier. I'm not a commander. I'm me." "You are more than you know," AORUS said. "The bloodline carries what is needed to command me, and I can show you the rest. Together, we can prepare." Rian felt a shiver run down his spine. He had always dreamed of doing something meaningful, something that mattered beyond his quiet, lonely life. Now, the opportunity was in front of him, and terrifying. He nodded. "Then show me." AORUS smiled. Her expression was calm, almost human. "Good. First, you need to learn the ship. Every system, every weapon, every hidden bay. Eclipse 7 is not like any modern vessel. It is older, yes, but it is stronger than anything currently in service, and it has secrets even you will find surprising." Over the next hours, Rian moved through the ship under AORUS' guidance. She taught him to navigate the bridge, to access old tactical systems, to power up dormant weapons bays. He discovered compartments filled with advanced technology far beyond anything used by modern humans. Energy cannons, cloaking devices, AI-guided drones, shields that could withstand planetary bombardment. "This is insane," Rian muttered as he ran his hands over the control panels. "All this, and the galaxy thought humans were weak?" "Precisely," AORUS said. "They underestimated us once. They will not make that mistake again." As the day passed, AORUS shared the story of Eclipse 7's past missions. Rian saw the battles in vivid detail. Human fleets outnumbered, outgunned, yet always holding the line. He watched as his ancestors made impossible maneuvers, used creative strategies, and relied on the stubborn courage that defined humanity. "They never gave up," AORUS said softly. "Even when it seemed hopeless, they never surrendered. That is why humanity survived." Rian felt pride swell in his chest. He had always thought humans were ordinary, fragile. Now he saw something different. Resourceful, determined, and capable of rising above any odds. And suddenly, he understood why the Nullborn had feared humans, and why their return was so dangerous. "Now you must prepare," AORUS said. "The Nullborn are not returning to wait. They are already moving through systems. They hide inside machines, inside networks. Many will not notice until it is too late. But we will. Mar, tell, Mar." Rian felt a mixture of fear and excitement. How? How do we stop something that hides in every system? AORUS activated a holographic map of the galaxy. Pulsing points of light traced patterns through star systems. The nullborn corrupt systems quietly, but they leave traces. I can detect them. I can locate their nodes. And with you, I can act. Rian studied the map. It was massive, intricate, almost impossible to comprehend. Where do we start? He asked. Here, Azura said, highlighting a cluster of points in a remote sector. Their presence is weakest here. We will strike first, before they spread further. You will pilot Eclipse 7. I will guide you through the operation. Together, we will remind the galaxy what humans are capable of. Rian took a deep breath. The responsibility was enormous. The fear gnawed at him, but so did something else, a spark of determination. He could not explain why, but he knew he had to do this. For the ship. For the humans who had fought before him. For the galaxy that needed protection. Days passed as he trained under Azura's supervision. They ran simulations, engaged in mock battles, and tested weapons. Rian learned to anticipate the nullborn's tactics, to think like them, to act with speed and precision. Azura shared more of her memories. And with each story, Rian felt a connection to the humans who had come before him. You are ready, Azura said finally. The nullborn have grown bold. We have no more time to wait. The ship's engines powered up fully, sending a low vibration through the docking bay. Eclipse 7 had been dead for decades. Yet now it moved with confidence, purpose, and a latent strength that no modern vessel could match. As Rian prepared for launch, he felt a strange mix of fear, excitement, and pride. This was more than a mission. This was a reminder, a human statement to the galaxy. We may have been forgotten, but we are not weak. Rian, Azura said, her voice calm yet commanding. This is the moment humans were always meant to face. The galaxy may have doubted us, but now, they will remember. He gripped the controls. Then let's show them. The docking bay doors opened. Eclipse 7 glided into space, its hull gleaming under the distant stars. The ship had been silent for decades, but now it spoke with purpose, carrying a human legacy and a human determination that no alien force could ignore. As the stars stretched into streaks outside the viewport, Rian felt the truth of Azura's words. The nullborn were coming, but humanity was ready. Not just ready, unstoppable. Rian Hale gripped the controls of Eclipse 7 as the stars outside stretched into streaks of light. The ship's engines roared, a sound long forgotten in the quiet of the abandoned docks where he had first met Azura. Now, it was alive, powerful, and ready for war. Targeting confirmed, Azura said. Her voice was calm but urgent. The nullborn have spread into the outer network nodes. Their presence is strongest near the Veil cluster. We must act quickly. Rian's heart pounded. For weeks, he had trained under Azura's guidance, learning the ship's secrets and mastering controls designed for a commander of legend. But now, the nullborn were real, and they were coming. How do we even fight something that hides inside networks and machines? Rian asked. We fight them the way humans always fight, Azura replied. Cleverly, decisively, without fear. Rian nodded, gripping the console tighter. The ship surged forward, cutting through the void with a grace that belied its size. Eclipse 7 had been silent for decades, but now, it moved with purpose. Carrying the legacy of humans who had fought and won impossible battles before. The first encounter was immediate. A sudden burst of corrupted signals hit the ship's scanners. Ghostly figures of the nullborn shimmered in the holographic displays, phasing in and out of reality. They know we are coming, Azura said. They have been waiting. Rian's fingers moved instinctively over the controls. Energy cannons powered up, shields extended, and drones deployed. Eclipse 7 was more than a ship, it was a weapon, a sentinel of humanity, and Rian was its heart. The nullborn attacked in waves, their forms twisting and shifting through space. Rian remembered Azura's words. Humans never gave up, even against impossible odds. And he refused to be the first to surrender. Focus on one at a time, Azura instructed. We will not match them in numbers, but we will outsmart them. Rian followed her guidance, targeting the nearest node and firing a precise burst of energy. The nullborn form shimmered, wailing an alien sound, then dissolved into nothing. One by one, he and Azura dismantled the initial wave. Good, Azura said. But this is only the beginning. Their central node controls the others. If we destroy it, the rest will fall. If not, we fight endlessly. Rian studied the holographic map. The central node was in a system close to the galactic core. Reaching it would be dangerous. Every step closer risked stronger defenses. Yet there was no alternative. Let's go, he said. The journey to the central node was tense. Eclipse 7 moved silently through uncharted systems, avoiding detection as Azura monitored the nullborn's influence. In some sectors, corrupted systems tried to lure them in, creating phantom ships, false signals, and strange energy anomalies. But Azura's guidance, combined with Rian's instincts, allowed them to navigate safely. You have learned well, Azura said after one particularly tricky maneuver. The galaxy would have doubted a human alone, but paired with me, you are unstoppable. Rian felt pride, yet fear remained. The nullborn were cunning, their reach vast. But he remembered the courage of the humans in the battle projections, their refusal to surrender. He would not fail them. Finally, they reached the central node. It hovered above a dying star, massive, pulsing with dark energy. The nullborn's power was visible now, twisting, crawling, a living shadow that reached into every corner of space. Rian, this is it, Azura said. We must strike carefully. One wrong move, and the node will trigger a cascade, spreading corruption across multiple systems. He took a deep breath and nodded. Let's do it. Eclipse 7 moved forward, shields glowing, weapons ready. The nullborn sensed them immediately. Dark shapes twisted around the ship, lashing out with energy tendrils, attempting to disable systems. Rian's hands flew over the controls. Drones intercepted attacks, energy shields absorbed blows, and cannons fired with perfect precision. Steady, steady, Rian muttered. The battle was chaotic, but the ship responded as if it had a mind of its own. Azura's voice guided him, predicting attacks, calculating outcomes, correcting mistakes before they happened. They reached the node's core. Rian's hands trembled as he activated the final sequence. The energy cannons locked, drones swarmed, and the ship's full power focused on a single point. This is humanity's moment, Azura said. Strike. The blast hit the core. Energy erupted in a brilliant explosion, throwing shadows across the void. The nullborn shrieked, their forms scattering. But the node resisted. Dark tendrils lashed out, aiming to destroy Eclipse 7 before the mission could succeed. Rian realized there was only one option. He connected himself directly to the ship's neural interface, merging his consciousness with Azura. The hum of the ship became part of him. The guidance of Azura intertwined with his instincts. Together, they were one entity, human determination fused with the ship's precision. Now, we end this, Rian said. With a final surge, the combined force struck the central node. Light consumed darkness. The nullborn shrieked one last time before dissolving into nothing. Energy pulses spread across systems, neutralizing corrupted nodes everywhere. For a moment, silence returned. Eclipse 7 floated above the dying star, glowing softly, alive, and victorious. You did it, Azura said, her voice filled with relief. The galaxy is safe. Humanity has won again. Rian exhaled, exhaustion flooding his body. He had piloted a ship built decades before, faced an enemy thought to be extinct, and survived. But more than that, he had seen what humans were capable of. Courage, intelligence, persistence. They underestimated us, he muttered. They always do. Yes, Azura replied. And they will remember. Humans are not weak. We may be quiet. We may seem ordinary. But we endure. We survive. We rise. Rian smiled, a mix of pride and awe. And Eclipse 7. We are not just a ship, we are a reminder. The ship's systems began broadcasting a message across the galaxy. Recordings of the battle, proof of the Nullborn's existence, and evidence of humanity's victory were sent to every council, every fleet, every system. The galaxy would no longer forget humans. Weeks later, Eclipse 7 returned to a human-controlled sector. Ships and personnel gathered, eyes wide in awe at the ghostly warship that had been dead for decades, but now glided with unmatched precision. Rian stood on the bridge as Azura displayed the reports of their victory. "Rian Hale," a fleet commander said, stepping forward. How did you do this?" The Nullborn were thought gone. And yet, here you are. Alive, commanding Eclipse 7? Rian looked at the commander, his eyes steady. "We never disappeared," he said simply. "Humans always endure. And when we act together, we are unstoppable." The commander nodded slowly, a new respect in his eyes. Across the galaxy, whispers began to spread. Humans. Eclipse 7. Azura. Names that once meant little now carried weight. Rian knew this was only the beginning. The Nullborn threat had been delayed, not eliminated forever. But humanity had proven something essential. When challenged, they would rise. When doubted, they would fight. When forgotten, they would be remembered. Azura's holographic form appeared beside him. "You have done well, Rian. Humanity is safe, and we have reminded the galaxy of its strength." Rian smiled, feeling the weight of his journey and the power of what they had accomplished together. "Thank you, Azura," he said. "But this is just the start. We have work to do." The ship hummed around him, alive, powerful, and aware. Eclipse 7 was no longer just a relic. It was a beacon, a living testament to human courage, intelligence, and determination. And Rian Hale, the quiet engineer who had been chosen by bloodline and destiny, had become humanity's first true commander of a new era. The stars stretched endlessly before them, but now, humanity had a voice among them. A strong, unwavering, impossible to ignore voice the galaxy would never forget again.